Yes, start.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening all over the world. This is Concerned Christians Outreach once again. During the last episode, I talked about how God instituted marriage. I also discussed the first marriage ceremony in the Bible, that is, the marriage of Adam and Eve, which God Himself conducted in the Garden of Eden. Now, we should know that God was the one who conducted the wedding when He handed over Eve to Adam. Remember, when He molded Eve, He brought her to Adam and gave her to him. And Adam's acceptance by saying, "This is the bone of my bones and the flesh of my flesh," only confirmed that the marriage ceremony has taken place. And you must know that what we think to be simple has turned out to be a universal law of marriage. We were told that they lived together naked and were not ashamed, and they became one flesh. The process of becoming one flesh we shall discuss under sex in marriage later. Today, the marriage in the Garden of Eden has set the ball rolling, as we emphasize that marital law all over the world follow this pattern: bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. Today, we want to look at marriage in Nigeria with emphasis on traditional marriage. First of all, we must know that throughout Nigeria, there are 3 types of marriage that take place. We have the traditional, which is also called the customary marriage. We have the legal marriage, and we also have the church wedding. And this is common to everybody, to all tribes in Nigeria. But note that Nigeria is a multiracial nation with about 371 languages spoken, but 3 are very prominent. And these are Yorubas. These are Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. The tradition is nearly the same, with little differences. But it must be noted that they follow the same pattern of bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh, which has become a universally accepted law of marriage. We shall endeavor to look at 3 major traditional weddings in Nigeria: the Yoruba traditional wedding, the Igbo traditional wedding, and the Hausa traditional wedding. In the olden days, Yoruba traditional wedding took place early in the morning. It was then customary that the couple to be married did not know each other until the day of the wedding. The marriage was usually arranged through a go-between that is called alarina in Yoruba language. And in many cases, it is either the parents of the man that shows interest, and it is normal for that parent to find a suitable wife for his son. So on the day of the wedding, the parents of the groom, father, mother, or representatives, a few friends, and the groom himself will go to the bride's house very early in the morning before the day breaks. The parents of the bride-to-be will welcome them cheerfully, as they will soon become one family. The alarina, on behalf of the groom's parents, then express their desire for their daughter to marry their son, for their son to marry their daughter. They will promise on behalf of their son to take proper care of the girl and make life worth living for both of them. The groom's family will then present kola nuts and 2 bottles of wine as gifts for presenting their intentions or requests. If the bride's family accepts the gift, then the bride-to-be will be invited and asked of her opinion about the request. If the answer is positive, then they will present all the gifts they have brought, both cash and goods. The goods included mostly farm products, starting from kola nuts, dried fish, jam, and others. The dowry would be paid, and this was usually in cowries. If the groom was not financially strong enough to fulfill his financial obligation, he would have to work on his in-laws' farm for a particular period before he could take his wife away. On many occasions, friends of the groom help him with the work on the farm so as to accelerate the time to be spent. So, under normal cases, after the presentation of the gifts, The bride is handed over to the groom's parents, who then handed her over to their son. The bride's family will then entertain its in-laws lavishly with food, drinks, and music. The bride will then be taken to her husband's house. All this will happen very early in the morning. The groom's family will hold a party in the evening. The groom's bed will have a piece of white material laid on it. While the party will be going on, the groom will have sex with his wife for the first time. The parents of the groom and some wives in the family will stay near the door to be listening to reactions from the two lover boys as they have sex. Those in waiting at the entrance show the excitement if the bride gave signs of inexperience by the different sound that came from her as the sexual activity lasted. If the bride was a virgin and the hymen broken, there will be blood stain on the white cloth laid on the bed. The groom will now come out to the anxious waiting parents at the door and show them the blood-stained cloth. There will be big shouts and jubilation as these people will rush out to the crowd and announce the results. The drumming will become louder with jubilation from everybody. You can ask me what happened next. The parents of the bride will be congratulated for training their daughter decently. The bride's parents will then be given a goat or hen for this achievement by the groom's parents. The bride is also rated highly and respected by everyone. My dear listeners, you could have asked me what happened if it was discovered that the bride was not a virgin. If she has lost her virginity to another man before her wedding, there will be anger and reproach. She will be sent out of the room, drumming and dancing will stop, and the bride's parents will be disgraced. If the groom's parents were the unforgiving type, they will ask for the return of their gifts. My dear listeners, you can see that the old Yoruba traditional marriage believed in a woman being virtuous. The book of Paul to the Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 4, clearly shows this. It is necessary to know that Yoruba traditional marriage entails some customs which are adhered to. This includes taking the bride to be to the fattening room where she is well fed and also taught how to cook, how to be a good wife, how to cook, and she's also cleansed by taking a special bath before going to her husband's house. She must also not meet the husband in the house. This type of wedding is also well recognized legally. The only problem is that it does not guarantee one man, one wife syndrome. The practice is fast phasing out as modernity is brought into Yoruba traditional wedding today. So, my dear friends, this is the old system of traditional marriage among the Yorubas. Thank you.